wanted to thank God for a beautiful day. We pray that you are having an awesome day or a great night. Um, Today, we pretty much just got done recording one of our favorite worship songs, and we thought it would be nice to talk about some worship experience that we've had. Um, with me today, I have my dear friend Retta, and I have my sister Daph. And the first question that we'll talk about today is, what does worship mean to you? I'll start with Retta. What does worship mean to you, Retta?
So when I think about worship, I just think about like just laying it all down at the altar, giving God like all the honor, all the praise, glory, all of that. Is just like really just like letting go and just letting God have all your cares, all your burdens and stuff like that. So that's what I think about, like, when I hear like worship.
Yes, yes. The same for me. I think the same about worship. I think it's a prayer of faith as well. When things are going wrong, you don't wait for things to get better, but you worship, and because you know God will take care of it all. How about you, Daph? What do you think about worship? What does it mean to you personally?
Worship to me is basically, it's my language with God. Like, it's something only me and Him share, or like only me and Him understand. Like, if I'm crying, He knows what I'm crying about. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, if I'm like hard down worshiping, He only knows what I'm worshiping about. He knows what I'm going through. That's just our connection. That's what worshiping is to me.
Yes, that's good. The second question would be, how do you normally feel after a great worship experience? That's a good one.
Listen, I feel like I dropped 20 pounds in the spirit. I truly feel like especially like I've had moments where I didn't even want to get up and get dressed for church. And I kid you not, it'll be that moment that God will use me, in leading a song and everything. And I would literally just have to, okay, God, forgive me. Like, I know, like, it's my time to lead, and God will use me every single time, and He will have His way. And I'll just, at the end, I'll just feel like, wow, like I almost did not want to even walk through these doors this morning, and here I am, like God did it for me, like He always does.
Yes.
So listen, if we could lose that weight physically, but listen, spiritually, like it feels like you just took all those heavy, burdens, everything that was like weighing you down. It's like you just
released it.
Yeah.
Yes. How about you, Daph?
He can't top that. Yes, it's like you just feel like you're in awe. Like,
yes,
you just feel so relieved and good. Like, you feel good internally, spiritually, physically. You just feel connected and good. Like, you just released every emotion, anything that you were holding in, you just let it all out to Him. That's how I usually
You want to take out your lashes.
Yes. You want to take out everything.
Your lashes, everything.
You took everything.
No, I think true worshipers get ugly when they are worshiping.
Yes.
I really do think so, because you are not thinking about anything.
Nothing.
You're like, God, have it your way.
Yeah.
And after you're done, you're like, oops,
wow,
where was I? You're like,
it's like a whole nother dimension.
Yes. You're like, should I go look at myself in the mirror right now? Because I know I'm not looking right. Because water in my eyes, I know the foundation, everything
just drenched at this point.
Yeah. Because you are not thinking about anything at that point. So that was good, ladies. What are some factors that sometimes restrain or affect your worship? at times.
Some factors that will, for me, I would definitely say just holding things in my heart. One of the hardest things for me is I'm not too vocal. Like when I get hurt, I hold it in, and I will hold the words, whatever was spoken to me, so dear and like in my heart and stuff like that. I'm telling you, service could be a blessing, worship service, and I will not enter in. I will not enter in, and it's like, like where is, like one of my sisters would always say, like, where's the joy of the Lord? Where's the joy of the Lord?
We don't have it every day.
Exactly. Like people will come against you.
Yes.
Things will happen. Everything is never gonna go, your way. Not all the time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But you still have to have joy in your heart. But we only get it when God, convicts us right away.
Yes.
But when you're in the moment, you realize like you feel like nothing else matters, but you're just holding it. So for me, like usually, like if I'm holding something in my heart and I don't want to forgive, and I don't want to give grace at the moment, like it's like, where's your grace? Grace is not on that side.
Not that Sunday.
Yeah, no mercy, no nothing. If I'm stubborn and I'm holding it, that's what will clog up, my moment of worship.
Yeah,
connecting with God.
How about you?
For me, it would be like overthinking. I'm very hard on myself when it comes to like, being in church and worshiping. I'm really hard on myself. That's why sometimes I sit down because I'm overthinking. I'm like, okay, you did this week and that wasn't right. Like he is mad at you. But it's like, that's not what he's looking at in that moment. That moment is like a you and him time. Like, repent, talk about it. Like, let him know, like, oh, I did this wrong this week. I plan to work on that. I plan to be better for you. I'm like very hard on myself when it comes to stuff like that.
I can relate to both of you guys. For me, I would say, let's say if during the week I did something wrong and I know God is not happy with me, we know God is a forgiving God. Whatever it is, you just go to him and he'll accept you. But it's just me in my head. I'm like, okay, you weren't supposed to do that. That was not right to do. And I'll hold it in. I'll go to church thinking God is right by me, looking at me. You just did it and now you want to worship me? Like, I think so much about, instead of me going and asking him for forgiveness or saying, God, I'm sorry about that or this, or God, I would never do it again. I'm just thinking about, okay, God is right next to me, watching me, and literally seeing me raising my hand. It's like, I think God is judgmental when he's not like that at all. It's like in my head, I'm like, ooh, he's watching me, and I don't know this, when God is not like that at all. So sometimes that will hinder my worship. Also, let's say if where I relate to you, when let's say someone talked bad or did something wrong to me as I'm stepping foot inside the church, sometimes that can mess up the whole Sunday for me. Instead of me knowing my purpose of being there, like to give God the priority by saying, okay, I'm here to worship him. Let me not remember what just happened. Let me just go ahead, and sometimes that will take a toll on me where I'm like, okay, this just messed up my whole Sunday. I'm guilty of that. All right. When was a time worshiping God made a big difference in your life?
I would say the very first time that I was saved. So I wasn't born and raised in church, so going, to youth functions and things like that was new to me. So I was about 18 years old, went to it was a 4th of July picnic, and there's this church in Fort Lauderdale. Every year they have this picnic. but after, everyone ate, played whatever sports or whatever, they always have worship service. And they was having worship service inside, and they started singing that song. They started singing, "Here I am to worship," and they got to the
You have a
part.
beautiful voice. Sis, give me a little bit more. Give me a little bit more. Give me a little bit more.
They got to that one part. I'll never know how much it. And then I just kept replaying those words in my head time and time again. And I see all these youth getting blessed and stuff like that. And I remember at that moment, I said, God, I don't know what they're speaking. I didn't know nothing about, speaking in tongues. Like, I didn't know nothing. They're just crying out. But I felt like when I was watching them crying out, I'm like, it feels like they just dropped all that heavy load, whatever was bothering my felt. They looked free to me, So I sat and I was watching the youth just being blessed, and I'm like, God, whatever that is, I want that.
Wow.
Girl, when I tell you, like, I felt like God just wrapped his arms around me at that moment, girl. And I just let go. And that was one of my first times that I actually cried in church, because I was the type of person, if I'm going to start crying, I'm going to pack and get my purse. I'm going to go to the restroom, because I never wanted people to see me get emotional. But that day I felt like God just held on to me and was like, it's okay. And I just broke down. And I would never forget that moment, because that was one of the main reasons why I decided to even serve God and get to know him for myself, not only from watching and hearing people, but I'm like, okay, if God can do that for them, I want to serve this God too.
Yes.
So that's one thing I would never forget. So that's when it made a difference for me.
Oh, that was touchy. What about you, Daphne? The question was, when was a time worshiping God made a big difference in your life?
I have a lot of those. I'm not a crier. Like, I'm very different. A different breed. Different? I'm just a different breed. But one of the times that God made like a big difference in my life, as we all know, 2020 was not perfect. It was not. But a lot of events happened, which you guys may see in upcoming videos. But my sister's testimony literally made a difference in my life. That was in church, and getting to see her walk again just touched me on a different level, because actually seeing the person not be able to do for themselves to be able to walk again, that is so bizarre. I don't know how to. And it's like only he can do it. Nobody else.
Yes.
No doctor, no man. Nobody can do it but him.
Yes.
Like, that's where my eyes literally opened. And during her rough times, that's when I gave my life to Christ. During her rough time.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah, during her rough time.
Wow.
So it's like,
so I had to go through that for.
Listen, you planted the seed, sis.
Okay.
She planted the seed.
No. I'm not saying I had to go through it for you.
For me to.
Yes, I mean God
used you.
Yeah, he uses his. Yeah.
Wow.
That it opened my eyes on a different level. It made me want to get closer to him. It made me want, to be more active in my spiritual life.
That's wow. That's awesome.
Wow. I'm learning that now. So that was really good.
Wow.
You know what's funny? That question is really, I don't have much, I don't know how to answer that question, because I am such whenever I'm worshiping God, I forget about the world. For the most part, I forget about the world. So I can't even think about just one moment where I had a great experience. I would say when I feel like I can pray, I'll just worship, because sometimes you have no words and you're going through something that's so hard, and you're like, okay, I don't even know how to communicate this with you, God, but you already know my heart. So I am literally just gonna worship you. And I find my when I'm in my closet worshiping, I find it the most sincere time worshiping God. And it's so sincere. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about a mic going or the wrong sound or the wrong voice, or it's just me and my personal time with God Himself, giving my all, telling God, you see me, you already know it all. I don't have to communicate it with you because you know what I'm going through, and I know you're gonna do it for me. So like I said, I see worship as a prayer of faith. I already know you got it, so I'm just gonna worship you instead of telling you what I need from you. I'm just gonna worship you in advance for what you are about to do for me.
In advance.
So I would say for me, this question is hard to even answer. I remember, Daphne mentioned, when I was going through the whole time, the whole 2 months and some where I couldn't walk or do anything for myself. I'm not gonna lie to you, sis. I could not pray. I could not pray. I know churches and my family, people around me, my friends, everybody was praying for me. But I myself could not pray. The only thing I would say to God, God, you see me. You already know. I think the first time I prayed during that time was the first day I went back to church. The first day I went back to church, and the second time when God actually operate the miracle. Those were the 2 times I can say I prayed. But other than that, the whole time I was not able to pray at all. But I was worshiping every single day. Like every single day, I would worship God. It was just one thing. That's all I could have done at the moment. That's why it's good to worship, because there's gonna come a time where you will not be able to do it. You would want to do it. You would want to raise your hand. You would want to jump or do the most for God, and you may not. Your body may not be able to function properly for you to do it the way you would want to do it.
That's true.
I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite worship song right now at the moment? Girl. I know this is hard. I know this is hard.
Listen, my favorite worship song. Yeah, there is so many. So many. But wow. I would say one I would say one that is like my ultimate go-to. It's actually a Haitian worship song though. And it's not you can't find it on YouTube. You can't find it on YouTube.
They go hard. They go hard.
It's a Haitian worship song that I learned at an old church that I was going to, and I always sing that song. And I mean, I wish it was out somewhere where I can always I always have to sing it to myself, but yeah. But aside from that song,
what's that song?
What's that song?
Why you didn't sing it for me? What's that song?
Oh no, I'm not gonna sing it.
What's that song? Okay,
not today. But
tell me the lines.
Yeah, there's so many of the lines of the song. Now my mind blank because now you put me on the spot.
No problem.
Gosh, that is a hard question.
I know.
My goodness.
What's the other one?
I love Cornerstone.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Cornerstone is one of my favorite songs, and a song that I learned in Kenya. The title of that song is "You Have Been So Good," and it just repeats, and it's a nice song. And so those one of the songs that I
lay down flat on the floor.
Listen, that's me all the way.
How about you, Dev?
My song will forever be Psalms 23.
Okay.
Yes.
Which you actually sung.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Forever.
Forever.
Yes.
Okay. I would say for me, the year of 2020, while I was going through it, God gave me a song. And I would say for now, that's my favorite song. But I have not sung it. I have not, share it with anybody. And the words go, li fè sa moun pat panse, li fè sa moun pat kompran, bon Djem nan pap jam dormi, grâce li sou mwen chaque jour. Yeah, those are the words of the song. And thank you for watching. I don't know if you have one last thing to say.
No?
No?
It was good.
Good.
Thank you. And continue to worship God. Bye-bye. Ciao.